Hey y'all, welcome back to For the Fans, where tonight we are so excited to talk about that kind of kooky little episode of Survivor 44, where we got to see more of the Franny and Matt love story and a wild reunion between our mom and dad, Carolyn and Jam Jam, and of course, a very sad medical evacuation. Tonight, joined with Ryan and hopping on the stream, Mr. Kevin Gilreath making the
What's up?
entrance.
Coming
All
in from the
right.
rafters and running down.
So, what an episode. Even though, I am typically, I like just the format of we get, you know, the reaction from the last vote, a challenge, a tribal council, and somebody leaving. Every once in a while, it's okay if we go a little bit off script because what a fun episode.
What a fun episode indeed. Um, I like how they kind of held some stuff from us.
It
How we
was
saw what
spicy.
happened when it was spicy, as Ryan likes to say. It was it was a crazy situation.
Yeah, very fun. All right, let's hop into this. So we, of course, start back on the Tika Beach the night of Sarah's blind side, and Jam Jam and Carolyn immediately hop into it and are like back and forth. Jam Jam's like, "Hey, you could have just told me. I would have voted with y'all." And Carolyn's like, "I felt left out. Like y'all were just telling me what to do." And
I want to know what's this blood feud between um, Carolyn and Sarah?
yeah,
Yeah, they didn't
Because
really
I
go into that much.
Carolyn seemed like convinced that she was did not like that girl, and that's what Jam Jam was like. I mean, I would have been cool with it, but I know you didn't like her anyway. And she's like, "Yeah, I wanted to vote her out. I've been wanting to vote her out." And I'm like,
yeah.
"What?"
And I mean, I love the authenticity of Carolyn, and we see it on full display this entire episode on multiple occasions where she is so blunt and just direct, but it's also not offensive. And don't exactly know how she manages to thread that needle because if I'm blunt, I sound like a bitch. And so good for Carolyn for being able to have that balance.
Yeah, I think it's because of the cookie nature of what she's like, just does in general.
Yeah.
Does
I
she
think that's
have
how
that
it
balance,
works.
or do we people balance around her? I think there's a different question there because she is very much so very expressive. She's like, "I'm Carolyn," and everyone has to sort of like tiptoe around it because she is like a bit of a volcano. You don't know what you say will make her erupt, so it's kind of fun and crazy.
Yeah. And it definitely
I,
seems like there's some things that are, she holds on to it for a little bit and then it comes back and she's like, boom. She does
and it
explode
just
a
like
little.
explodes, right? It just explodes,
Yeah,
and it just like comes out and it's hitting. And like, I mean, even this episode when she like goes to Jam Jam a little bit later, and she's like making faces and is like, "I want to vote out Josh if we get the chance."
yeah.
He's like, "See, this is the Carolyn I know. This is the one I've been
Yeah.
seeing all this time."
And I think
Yeah.
this is what Carolyn is. Carolyn is the person who we as the audience, we get to see all of her expressions, so we get to see her feeling it and thinking about it. But she's doing it behind Josh's back. She's doing it behind Danny and Brandon's back. They don't see what's going on. They don't see her true expression going like the entire time. So as she's thinking, she is keeping it sort of underground and under wraps. They don't even like see it until later. To
Yeah.
us, it's obvious, but she is very good at keeping stuff to herself, and it's kind of crazy for someone as expressive as she is.
Yeah,
And she has this confessional where she's like, and she's kind of done this in a few different confessionals where she's like, "Oh, look at me, I'm playing Survivor," and she even says it just like that. But last night she has this one where she's like, like Jam Jam, he's my Jam Jam, like I want to play with him, but like I got to do what's best for my game, which I guess is
which
working with
means work
Josh.
with
And
Shush.
it's almost one of those things where you're like, "Oh my god, like I know what I need to do, but I don't want to." And Carolyn is like, "Oh." Almost like disgust with herself, but like, I know what I need to, but my heart's telling me something different. What a mess. I love it.
It was crazy, man. And then we also get Josh like immediately coming back from tribal, upset with Jam Jam for like lying to him, I guess, even though he blindsided Jam Jam with the vote out of Sarah. And then after that happens, he's like, well, good thing I have another idol.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
Like, Ryan, would you do that?
No, that's crazy. If I had an idol and like I didn't have anything, I wouldn't just come out and just say straight I have it. Because anytime you reveal anything to anyone, I feel like 90% of idols that people show people ahead of time are fake. So if you're
Yeah.
telling everybody about it, you're not going to do that. There's less power in that.
But
So
I mean, the way all of this is going to unfold, like just gold. And so we get that little nugget there of, I got this other idol too. So we'll be coming back to that. Don't worry. But time to hop over to the Ratu Beach and oh boy, y'all. So immediately we get Matthew and Kane sitting there talking, and Kane's like, "How you doing, man?" Matthew's like, breaks down. I'm in so much pain. Like I wake up every morning and I'm just hurting so badly. And I'm like, no, this is too obvious. Like he's going to be okay.
Oh no, it wasn't even that for me. It was the fact that like you're in pain from an injury that you sustained from doing something dumb. Like
Dumb.
that's tough. You try to climb, you're like, I'm on Survivor. I'm on Survivor. Let me do some stuff. Let
And
me eat a worm. Let me climb a mountain.
This is also like flash forwarding some, but Jeff makes a comment of like, oh, well, you hurt yourself. You're out here playing the game. I'm like, no, Jeff, he was playing Explorer. He wasn't playing Survivor. And if he would have hurt himself digging under the log, which is where he said, I think he like really kind of irritated it and, kind of made things worse because he wasn't following directions. But anyways, no big deal. That is playing Survivor. Whenever he is climbing a rock, no, do that shit on your own time.
But that was his own time. He was playing Survivor.
No,
but like not like how it was still Survivor, but he was not like how Jeff made it sound. You're right.
But I still really relate to his like sort of emotional breakdown there because we do really see him like he is a smart player. He does think things through very carefully.
So good.
And we see him plan everything out and strategize and how much he truly cares about this. And for him to lose it in just like a first 5 minutes, I'm on an island is probably heartbreaking. And you can see that he's like fighting for it so hard and how hard he wants this.
Oh yeah.
And to lose it over just trying to experience it's kind of crushing.
So dumb, right? And it's like that's the hardest part I think about it because just like you said, Ryan, he talks about how much he's trained to be out here and how much he's worked and how much he loves Survivor. He talked about how he built the snake puzzle in his backyard. Like he wants this, and for you to go out from climbing a rock formation, man, like that is hard. And then he did it on day 2. And we're on day like 10.
Yeah.
So he's been like going like this for like a week. Like it's tough.
Yeah.
So he wakes up
I mean,
morning.
I am not downplaying his injury at all. Like I 100% believe him. Like there is no doubt that what he did was extremely painful. But I'm pretty sure we talked about this in the premiere episode. Like if I were out there, I would like want to be wrapped in bubble wrap. Like I am only here to compete in the challenges and to talk. I am not trying to climb rocks. I am not trying to climb trees. I am not trying to
and that's the worst part. That's the worst part. It's not like he did it climbing a tree trying to get like food, right? It's not like he was climbing the rock because he could climb the rock. Yeah. Like that was why he was doing it.
Yeah, no, I mean that's his adventurous spirit, which is probably part of what attracted the Survivor producers to him. But we'll get into more of the Matthew of it as the day goes on. Let's talk about Carson.
Yeah, man. So Carson comes through and he's like able to really connect. Like Matt just breaks down to him. And he's like, I'm so glad that I could talk to you, Carson, and just tell you how it feels out here. And
Carson's
Carson's
like,
like, thanks, man.
I'm doing really good.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then Kane's like, bro, we're both nerds, man. Like Star Wars stuff and like Marvel stuff,
Pokemon.
Pokemons.
This
Look
is
at
the most
us,
game
man.
talk I've seen Kane do, and it's about Pokemon.
I
Yep.
mean,
And he's like,
Kane was so excited. He's like, finally, I got myself a little nerd out here that can nerd out with me, and we can talk about Pokemon and
which
Star Wars. Love it.
which nerd couple is cuter, Kane and Carson or Franny and Matt? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I am not a Franny and Matt stan. Like, this
Well,
is odd to
listen,
me.
I think you got your Kane and Carson connection right here, and I think that's
Yeah,
where Kylie's
maybe
leaning.
that's where my heart's gonna go. But Carson is just like, hey, I swap tribes and I feel like I'm kind of like the revitalization that this tribe needed because I've got everybody talking game to me and they're talking game in ways that I don't think they were talking game with each other. And so Carson's like, hey, this isn't so bad. And I think that he has the luxury of being able to do this knowing that he is safe at their first tribal council.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So
Yeah,
once
I mean,
again, we're back to these idols. Do y'all think that
wait,
that has
I
affected?
love it. I love it because of the reason you just said, right? It allows them to try to ingratiate themselves and play catch up with knowing that you'll be fine at come that first tribal. It allows you to try to get in with those tribes and allows you to try to forge ahead. If they don't have that safety, then they are literally just afraid they're going to go home first, a la Josh last week, because he goes in there and he doesn't have time to try to build the bonds because he's just trying to save himself.
Yeah, so whatever the opposite of love it, that's how I feel about it. So I just
So
don't
you
like
hate it.
anything. Yeah, that's how I feel. But I just don't like anything that's a guarantee in Survivor. Like it's like, oh, guaranteed you're gonna get past at
But see,
least
right,
one
it's not
round.
a guarantee. It's not a
Yes, it
guarantee
is.
because they could not have to use it. They could use it for someone else, like Josh mentioned, use it for Carolyn. They could be tricked into thinking that they were actually safe and not use it at all, or give it to somebody else, use it as a fake. There's a lot of things that could be done with it.
Okay, but
Not a
at this point
guarantee.
in the game, this late into like the early stage, you know a merge is coming soon. There's only going to be like you can just do the math, figure out there's only going to be 1 or 2 more votes anyway. If I'm
And
winning
once
Right.
2 out
again,
of 3
once
challenges,
again,
Can you
we
do
are
that? Last week,
we
Kylie
are
told me there was
in
3 more episodes.
we are in the
Last week, Kylie-
predictability stage of Survivor seasons where guess what? When we hit this number, we're going to do
We're getting
Mergatory
close. We're getting
for
close. We're getting
4
close.
seasons in a row. So guess
Well,
what?
what
We're
do you mean?
probably going to do it this time too.
It's the same thing though in the previous seasons. Like when we hit 13 to 11,
Well,
we're
that's
going
fine,
to
but
emerge.
I am adding on to Ryan's point. Like if a different scenario happens last night and Ratu is going to tribal council, there is a 1000% chance Carson is playing the idol for himself because he is going to know this is only good until we're all living on one beach. And I know that we're all going to be living on one beach after this tribal council. So I'm going to use it.
Probably soon, right?
Yeah.
You're like in a. I mean, you told me there was 3 episodes left before merge last week, so the
That
numbers can
3
skew.
people would go home. I'm bad at math.
Yes. No, it's not. You are bad at math, but that's not just it. You're 100% correct that there is a finite window between about 14 to 11, right? That's usually the number that we're looking at to go to merge. So that is true. You could guesstimate. I'm not knocking that. You can guesstimate. Like or close, it might be 1 tribal, it might be 2 tribals. Who knows? But
with that twist, I love that they swapped. I love that they got something. Like just throwing them in the middle of something with nothing would be kind of like a death sentence. But an idol that close with like a set expiration date is just too easy.
Would you have preferred they got a real idol though?
Maybe.
Actually,
Maybe
maybe
that
because there's
Maybe that takes a little bit of the like, okay, there's there's basically no chance that these dumbasses don't play this idol on themselves, because at least if they know, okay, if I can get to the merge, then I've got a whole idol and I'm able
But
to
think about it.
reunite.
Think about it. If they get a real idol right, then they got an idol for literally
Actually, I'm
doing
just
nothing.
not a fan of them getting something outright without doing shit. Period.
They swapped their tribes. Like, that's not something
Yeah.
they can control. And then if you go to the tribal immediately that night, you're fucked, because they're going, the idea of the idol, and I love this, and let me tell you why, and I'm going to fight for this. The reason I love them getting an idol is because it makes the original tribe members have to still pick amongst themselves. It makes the original tribe members have to figure out amongst themselves who's the weakest. And I'm with Robbie from last week. Put it around your neck. Say, along with the swap, I got this thing. So y'all 5 or y'all 4 need to figure out who's going home, because it's not going to be me. I know that I'm the easy vote, but it's not going to happen. So good luck to you, and let's see how this goes.
Still not a fan.
I think they should have gotten like a vote thing, like an extra vote, block a vote, steal a vote, something where it's not so you're automatically safe, but this helps you get safe. It helps you earn favor and you can use it. I think that's sort of a more fair balance.
So, okay, the 3 of us are here.
Yeah.
Somebody joins literally right now. We have to vote right now. We have been on for, you guys have been on for 16-ish minutes. I've been on for 14-ish minutes. Someone just joins the stream and we're voting someone out the stream. I'm more than down to vote out the person that just joined the stream, because we have already been here for 14 plus minutes collectively. I'm much more willing to get rid of
right, and that's why I said I didn't like the whole twist. I don't like swapping one person.
I love it. I thought that part was fantastic.
I don't like that they swapped one person only. I don't like that they gave them an idol. Not a fan of what happened in that episode.
So then what would you have preferred happen if we're swapping regardless?
Everybody drop your buffs.
We're not doing that. No, we're doing the one. We're doing the one. So
I don't want it.
We're doing it though.
All right. I think this conversation is like running itself into a course. You guys are just going to crash into each other.
Hold on. No, I just want to know, Kylie, if we're already doing it, we're definitely doing it. How do we fix this? If we're definitely doing it.
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to sit down and go to the drawing board, because I think that the idea of swapping one person is dumb AF. When you're already,
we're doing it though.
When you're already in, okay, listen, Kevin, let me finish talking. But whenever we are in small tribes, and that's how we play the new era of Survivor, it is an even dumber twist onto an idea that Jeff is stuck on. And so I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. I'd have to sit and think about it, but I'm not going to be able to do that in the middle of this podcast. So, all right, moving on to the Soka Beach, we're going to get our little Danny's backstory. And I feel like Danny had like this kind of like, he started low, in my opinion, when the season started, and then he has just been peaking. And then this episode, like he hit that steep decline. And I felt like our guy went from in a really, really great position to like, what the F are you doing? Or as I heard it said one time, WT fuck is going on. Come on, Danny. So we do get a little backstory about his wife and his sweet little baby girl at home. But yeah, Danny kind of had a little bumpy episode for me. What are y'all's thoughts on Danny?
I thought he was fine. Honestly, I think Danny's been playing a great game.
Yeah, I have no idea what decline you're talking about.
I think the only thing you're talking about is like the little bro thing in front of Carolyn. I think the issue is just Carolyn's reaction, not what he did. And I think his thing will bring him more allies than it hurt him.
Than hurt him. Yes. This is why I'm like, I still see him on that. He's still on that trek up. Like, it's still going up. It's still rising. He still has people that has his back. He still has Heidi. He still has Franny and Matt. He now has other connections we're going to talk about later. Like, he still has Josh, considers Josh an ally. Like,
Josh thinks that Danny's his guy. He doesn't trust the people in his new tribe. Josh is riding with him.
I think that
Brandon is now, Danny's the best guy ever, and now he has a physical shield too.
Oh, so I think that Danny was playing a really, really great game, like just had centered himself so well on the Soka tribe of like, yes, he was kind of like their leader in challenges and stuff, but he wasn't necessarily coming because he even like preseason talked about how, oh, well, I know that like I can come off very broy and very, frat boyish, and I've got to work against that. And I felt like he had been doing a really, really great job of downplaying that. And he saw Danny and like got a hard on.
I mean,
And
Brandon.
I think
But
this is the moment, if Danny does not win, that we go back and we're like, that's the moment it derailed for him. Because I think we're going to see these oddballs come together at the merge. And you're going to get Carson and Kane and Carolyn and Jamie and Jam Jam. And they're like, this is a problem. Josh, Danny, Brandon, Heidi, you're
right,
not
but
going to jump off the train. You're
I
a
think they're
problem
going to
too.
say that. But I think they say that regardless, it has nothing to do with whatever Danny did in this episode.
I disagree. I think you're underestimating the power of Carolyn.
I
How
think we're
dare
way
you?
ahead in the episode, but I think right now at the Soka tribe, there's nothing that happened at the Soka tribe that brought Danny down. We got Matt and Franny um, canoodling a little bit more. They admit that they like each other. Um, we get Franny saying that she has a crush and she would date him in real life. I'm not sure how this was a negative for Danny at all.
Okay, once again, we're obviously talking about the sanctuary.
We're nowhere
We're
near
talking
there yet,
about Danny
Kylie.
as a whole, since that's what we've been doing this whole episode.
Did you see
But
how cute his baby was? How could that possibly be a
Yes.
downside?
I mean, if we're talking Danny as a whole, I think
back to the Matt and Franny of it all.
So cute.
Matt has this confessional where he says, Franny is my blind spot. And I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah. They're gonna
Matt.
get
And
Ethiopian food together or something.
yeah, and so I mean,
Ethiopian food is fire too. It's
I
so
think in this
good.
little duo that Franny has her head a little more in the game, and Matt is definitely a lovesick puppy.
Well, Matt
And
just
he still can't
got
vote.
out of a he just got, he still can't vote. He's just got out of a breakup. He just let's talk about the can't vote thing, right? I think it's so interesting that you can't vote, and it's such a powerful thing in a small tribe. But if he goes into the like a merge with not being able to vote, it's gonna go unnoticed. Like that's the best part about it. It'll go unnoticed in a merge, like a merge boot situation, because everyone's going to come to a consensus and you just agree. And then as the votes are coming out, you're like, my vote just didn't get read. And it's that simple. Because there will be a consensus on who to vote at that time.
Right.
But right now, it's just such an interesting because if you have a situation like it, you just got to navigate the small tribe part. Because that's when your vote matters. But when everybody's there together, doesn't matter. We saw it with Omar, right? We saw it with Omar. Omar didn't have a vote, and Chanel's the one that told him. And so Omar doesn't vote, but everything still goes according to plan, and Omar's vote is inconsequential.
I mean, he doesn't just go according to plan; it goes according to his plan. He has a really interesting position there, and he takes full advantage of it. He's like, I may not be able to vote, but I can still control.
I can still control
how
the
y'all vote.
And that's kind of how this is. And I don't think Matt's going to be the one masterminding or puppeteering where it's going to go. But I think his not having the vote is not going to matter if we're at a merge, which it seems like we're coming into.
I also don't think him and Franny are going to be on the line going into the merge. I feel like, yes, that they're a lovebird and typically like showmances get targeted and everybody sees that. But you also saw like their whole previous tribe already dismiss everything. They're like, oh yeah, they're a duo. Let's vote out Claire. Even going into a merge, you already have big personalities such as Jamie, Jam Jam, Carolyn already causing a muckus. That Carolyn wants to target the bros. The bros probably don't want to get targeted. They're going to fade into the background. Nobody's going to even care about the showmans.
Yeah.
It's probably
I think they're going to be able to go under the radar. But if it does come back to bite them in the ass, I feel like I worry more for Franny because I think she is more likely the one that will get targeted.
She's seen as the brains.
Yeah, because she definitely seems to have her shit together more than Matt. But so I am worried that this is only bad for Franny, but Franny can also realize that, okay, this may be bad for me. But is she going to have it in her to cut ties with her little boo boo if she needs to? Because I think she, in her mind, she knows that she may need to do that, but I don't know if she can do it in her heart.
I think the one thing might save her is if Matt winds up being pretty good at challenges and becomes a challenge threat and gets targeted for that. But unless he's pulling his weight in that end, then yeah.
I don't know if that's it's going to be a problem though, right? I don't know if it's going to be an issue because I think there's enough safety in numbers, and I don't think that she would get rid of Matt unless she had to, but I don't think she's going to have to.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's going to be a situation where she's going to have to. She would much rather sit with them in the end, and they are aware of that, so they're just going to vote him out around her.
Or they're going to vote her out, and that's where I'm worried for
One
her.
or the other. Yeah, one or the other. One or the other. They might vote her out.
All right.
She's not going to have to make the choice, I think.
Yeah. So back at the Tika tribe, we get this really awkward / endearing conversation with Jam Jam and Josh. Starts off with Jam Jam being like, so are you still mad about what happened? And Josh is like, no, I'm not mad. And
Which sounds like you're mad.
Yeah. And I mean, his face is giving mad still. So I'm with Jam Jam on this. Like, Josh is 100% still offended. And Jam Jam is trying to smooth things over, but it's almost like the more he tries, the worse he's making things. And so he's like, I hope you understood. Like, I thought I was going with the group. And I can understand where Josh is like, yeah, I don't give a shit, dude. You're still the one that wrote my name down and you were going to vote me out. And so I can understand if you want to harbor that internally, but Josh is not able to hide it here. And Jam Jam calls him out with the RBF. He's like, I understand, like, good for you. You pulled the plan off, but why the bitch face? And y'all, I
like Jam Jam a lot.
I cannot get over the fact that they found Jam Jam and Carolyn and put them on the same season together every week while this is still happening. I can't believe it.
Forget the same season, same beach. Why are they on the same
I love
beach?
it. It's amazing. These are two amazing characters. But Josh is like, no, I'm good. I just don't trust you.
Yeah.
And this is once again where he's like, but it's okay because I have an idol. So, like, I'm good. And Jam Jam's like, well, F me. Like, if he's telling the truth, then it's me or Carolyn.
This is what I don't get, though. Like, you had an idol that you played a minute ago. And you didn't tell anyone but Carolyn when you're trying to pull her to you. Why are you now using the idol as a bluff? And I say that because I would assume
all in with Carolyn.
I would assume you're bluffing about your new idol because you didn't tell me about the old idol.
Yeah.
So why are you now telling me about this idol?
Right.
It doesn't make it doesn't.
And
so when
I think
when I like to play
automatically rings false with our boy Jam Jam.
Exactly.
So,
well, no, Jam Jam still believes it. I think Jam Jam's falling for it, but like not necessarily falling for it. But he wants to keep himself safe. He knows he has nothing, right?
Yeah.
And he already knows that Josh played something at least one time, so he just wants to try to keep himself safe. But it's like when I play Werewolf, one of the reasons why I'm decently good at Werewolf, especially when I'm playing like person, Werewolf or Mafia or whatever, is because I act the same whether I'm Mafia or not. In this situation, he is definitely not acting the same whether he's Mafia or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what's so weird to me is that, like, why is this the move, Josh?
Yeah. And like tagging off of what you said, like he has this moment with Carolyn at the tribal council where they reach over and they're holding each other's hands like, that is your girl. And you know that your ass doesn't have an idol. So why are you even entertaining anything with Jam Jam? You kiss Carolyn's ass. And that is your ticket to getting out of Tika. Like, you are now her best friend. I don't care if you don't like her. whatever. You better fake it till you make it, homeboy, because that is the only way your ass is going to survive, because you know you don't have an idol and they know you don't have an idol. So,
Right.
Yeah. Also with Jam Jam just like sort of campaigning so hard to Josh, saying, "Hey, are we cool? Do you want to be friends?" Jam Jam's basically saying, "I don't have jack shit. Like,
Yeah.
so you might as well work with me." Like, he's pretty much
Yeah.
all of his cues are showing that Jam Jam is desperate, doesn't have any cards up his sleeves. You don't have to worry about like pandering him in case he plays something because he's clearly so nervous that he does not.
Right.
Like,
So, interesting approach by our boy Josh here.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think you're right. I think you're right, Ryan. Like Jam Jam knows that he got duped in the last situation, in the last vote. So he knows that he needs to come back around, and he hates the fact that Josh is the one kind of controlling what happens, because Josh can wedge himself in the middle, because Carolyn's already lied to him, and so he can't really trust that Carolyn's coming back
Mhm.
to him. But he knows that he lied to uh, Josh, so he can't like blame Josh for not trusting him, and Josh lied to him in turn. But Josh was the target, Jam Jam wasn't. So
Mhm.
it's like you're like kind of coming back to him, like, hey, so sorry? Question mark?
And
Like
he
that's kind of like
tried. He
how.
does
Yeah,
try.
he
I
tried.
mean,
He has to. He has to. And then they connect. They connect about their coming out stories, or like Jam Jam's not coming out, but like just
yeah.
marrying his first boyfriend.
husband does.
Yeah,
They
but I
just,
mean,
they just.
and they both kind of give confessionals on this, and they're like, "Oh, we're more alike than we are different." But I think this is kind of a forced thing. I don't think they're alike. Like I don't think Josh wants
They're
to
both.
really work
They're
with
both
Jam Jam,
gay. That's like kind of it.
obviously.
Are you trying to tell
No, no,
me
no, no,
that
no.
not all gay people are the same?
Um,
Correct. Correct.
What?
That's why. That's
but
why it's funny.
I think that I think this is a forced moment from Survivor here, where they're wanting to be like, "See, no, they have a similarity. We
Oh,
can
I
link
don't
them
think from
together."
Survivor. I don't think from Survivor. I think there's a forced moment between the two of them, because they know that, like, for Jam Jam specifically, I need something to relate to this man to, because I am screwed. So, look, you're gay. I'm gay. Hey. I don't think it's Survivor that's doing it. I think for sure it's Jam Jam, though. I think you're right. It's contrived, but it's Mike 100% by Jam Jam.
Yeah. So, but they seem to maybe
Yeah.
question mark be on the same page. Okay, let's head into this immunity challenge. When I see the setup of like, okay, they have to go through like the little, jungle gym obstacle course and then the over under, and they have to, you know, get the water transferred across the net balance beam. I'm like, this isn't good. This is not good for Tika. Like they're gonna struggle here. Like Carolyn's unathletic, and the other tribes
It's
just have three
just
people.
it's just Carolyn that's unathletic on that tribe. Like Josh
Yeah,
is very athletic, and Jam Jam is like an
does
ox.
the damn
Like
thing. Yeah,
Carolyn's just like awkward,
yeah.
like the way she moves in general.
Her movements are awkward. Love her. But I'm worried for them. But what do you know? Like heading through the obstacle portion, we are like neck and neck and neck. All three tribes getting there
Wait a minute,
basically at
Kylie.
the same time.
Before we get to that part, before we get to the end, Matt sits out, and Jeff does not destroy him the
He
way he
doesn't call
destroyed
him out.
Claire.
Yeah, he does
That
not call
is,
him out.
come on,
I
Jeffrey.
mean, I posted it in our Survivor fantasy group, but somebody on Reddit, shout out to whoever that was, don't remember, did that Gordon Ramsay clip of him, like where he's talking to the baby, and it's like, or the little girl, not the baby, but when he's like, when Jeff is talking to Matthew, oh, you poor gorgeous baby. When Jeff is talking about Claire sitting out challenges, you fucking donkey. It's so accurate. Like he's
Yes.
so hard on Claire over this, and he's like, Matthew, your poor shoulder. You're okay.
Yeah. Correct. Like I was like,
No
what?
big
And then
deal.
another thing, who set out this challenge for Soka?
Jamie.
Who said out last week for Soka?
Jamie.
She's
He's
also
a
said
Claire
of me back
hater.
when she was on Ratu too. Like,
Yes, and that was my thing, Ryan, is that they sent Claire home because they said, well, you set out the challenges. That's the reason we're gonna do it. Y'all just
Yeah.
need someone to sit out anyway. Claire so much was happy to be
Justice for Claire. This was complete bullshit.
and I gotta get Matt because like he is injured, but Jamie is not. Like,
Right.
correct.
Right.
Correct.
But yep, those are our sit outs. So, anyways, though, we get through the obstacle portion of the challenge. Comes down to a table maze. They got to sink 3 balls at the end of their maze where they're working with a teammate, and you can't even like Danny and Matt. Yeah, they've been together the whole time, so it's not surprising that they're able to communicate well together. And like you can see Danny like pat Matt on the back before they start their 3rd ball, and they're like, we got this. Like you can just see the confidence coming from them. But you've got Carson and Brandon over here who've known each other for 2 days. And this huge NFL player and little dorky looks like he should be on the Big Bang Theory. And somehow these two, like, complete mismatch, great communication, and our struggle bus Tika tribe over here with Josh and Jam Jam, Carolyn with the facial reactions in the background, a hot mess. Are y'all shocked that they're not able to work together a little bit?
I'm more shocked that
they're both gay, so they should have been able to.
Obviously, I guess. No, I'm more shocked that 6 dudes did the challenge.
Well, obviously, the maze is a very physically intense thing that requires a lot of brawn.
What did you say? It skipped for a minute. What'd you say?
Oh, I'm shocked that 6 men did the challenge.
I think it had to
Why
do
are you
with-
shocked?
Because I thought we would have like maybe a Heidi in there, maybe what's her face? Laura?
No, Lauren sat.
Wasn't it Heidi, Danny, and Matt?
Kane. Heidi and Kane were the 2 that set out of the table maze. And then you had
the maze, gotcha.
And Carolyn,
you had Jamie, Lauren, Matthew, and is that it? Franny sitting out. Anyways, no, it's not surprising to me. I do think that the table maze is probably a little bit heavy. And once again,
think so? Possibly.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little bit heavy.
Gotta get the men out there.
And I mean, like Carolyn, God love her, like she would be like, oh
no, Carolyn
over the maze.
Carolyn was never going to be in the maze for me.
Yeah.
After watching her throw the life preserver over the thing and her just doing this.
That's exactly how she would be with the.
If she took her pants off, she could nail that maze.
Yeah,
probably.
True. But anyways, Soka, Ratu, no problem. They back to back get their 3 balls sank. Just complete devastation on our little Tika members. And your heart breaks for them. Like, they've been through the ringer. They are just this, bad news bears tribe.
Ryan, did your heart break for them?
Yeah.
Mine did not. Mine did not.
So, as much as I wanted like all 3 of them to be in, my Survivor fan always wants whatever's the spiciest outcome to happen, whether it involves somebody who I like going home or not. So
I want 3 people to have to figure it out. I want 3 people to have to figure it out.
You know what? I'm fine. I'm fine with Tika going back as long as the outcome is Josh is voted out. I am going to be heartbroken at whatever point we lose Carolyn or Jam Jam.
And I feel that I like those 2 better than I like those 2 better than Josh, and I get that. I just like the fact that there's 3 of them, and there has to be a Mexican standoff where they just have to point guns at each other and wonder what.
Yeah, no, I mean on paper it is it's ideal, but in my heart it's not. Okay, and this is what I'm here for. No, but they're going back to tribal. But before we get people sent back to tribal, got to get some people to go on the old journey. And Ratu Y'all get to make the decision of who. And they choose Brandon. And hey, we like Danny and our girl Carolyn. Do y'all think that these three are going to hit it off whenever you see this arrangement?
I don't think Carolyn hits it off with anybody.
I don't think she's good on first impressions. I love her now, seeing like what her head goes through, but it's definitely something that grows on you. So it's hard for her to probably make those same first connections where people go, "Oh, I just met you. We went on a 5-second walk. Let's be ride or dies." Like,
Right.
yeah.
Yep. So, not instantly looking like this is a great lineup for Carolyn on paper. But before we can go on the little trek, even, hey, Matthew, saw that you've set out a couple challenges back to back.
Hey,
Let's
buddy,
get,
if you want to.
hey, sweet little baby.
Yeah.
Let's get our medical staff to look at you. And when he is talking, I'm like, gosh dang it, because he's in my draft from our draft that we did preseason, and he is also in my paid draft. And I'm like, F me in all ways, because I am fixing to lose Matthew here. Like, there's no doubt in my mind when they have medical see him, add it in with the scene. I'm like, he is a goner. He is a goner.
Yeah,
Did y'all
absolutely
think
same.
that there was any chance he was going to stay in the game?
No. And Matthew,
No.
he was my winner pick day one because he was smart and likable. And normally dislocated shoulders, if you pop it back in, they'll heal pretty quickly. So I like watched the first episode. I was like, okay, we're fine. He'll heal. We're good.
Yeah.
No.
The moment he's crying about his shoulder, and then Jeff's like, "Hey, sweet little baby, we're gonna look at your shoulder for you, and we're gonna get you all knotted up and taken care of." I was like, "This dude's going home," because they're not going to show us showing him getting his shoulder looked at unless it was going to be for good reason. And we see him getting looked at. They come back and he's like, I'm eating so few calories and my shoulder hurts so much. And I was like, yeah, that's a wrap for Matt. That's a wrap.
Yeah, this isn't good. And he even makes the comment of like, I've just got a lot to think about and a decision to make. I was like, oh, so upset.
I'm kind of like that they did it this way, where they kind of leave us at a cliffhanger, even though we obviously know it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But normally, like if somebody gets injured in a challenge, you see them like leaving like right afterwards, and they're like, "Sorry guys, no tribal, we're done."
Yeah.
Agreed. But this one, it leaves a little bit of cliffhanger because they're like, we're gonna go ahead and just like let things continue to play out.
Y'all gotta see what's been happening. And for that, I am a little bit grateful. It will be interesting to know if he basically left from that challenge or if he did go back and think on it for a while. But either way, bless the survivor gods for what is about to unfold, because we are about to get 15 minutes of incredible television. If you are here for entertainment, this is what this is. If you are here for strategy, this is not what it is. Okay. So before we get on the trek with our three chosen members, we get a back at the Tika Beach, and our boy Jam Jam has decided, okay, like I'm going to just have to believe Josh here. And I got to throw Carolyn under the bus, the submarine, the airplane, and whatever else he says. He's like, all of the ways I need her to be completely just trashed here. And he's right. I mean, you've got to take that approach of like, let's bash Carolyn, and then to Carolyn, you got to kiss her ass, and you got to try to make sure that you're good no matter what. So love this from our boy Jam Jam.
Agreed.
Yeah, fantastic.
He didn't really have any other choice. I mean, 2 people voted against him. Those 2 people are still in the game. He's the only one left. As far as you're concerned, that Carolyn and Josh are now a tight pair. So you got to try to wedge your way in there wherever you can.
Yeah. But now for the good part. Time to take the little trek with Danny and Brandon and Carolyn. And they don't have to walk up a mountain. You'll just take a nice little stroll down the beach, get to know each other, and they get to the next sign. It's like There's nothing to
Kylie,
gain here.
this is the
There's no
most
vote to
intense
lose
twist we
here.
have had all season so far. It's the last journey before the merge. They're going to throw in something spicy, a spicy sandwich.
Well, but this is a little bit
I
spicy.
love it.
What?
Yeah.
Yes, I love this. What do you know? Survivor doesn't do something, and they just let the characters take care of it.
Forget
And
that part. Don't forget that part.
no, don't
It's
forget
like
that part.
The reason that you forget that part is because everyone goes on a journey and gets something. These guys went on a journey and got nothing, and now have to explain how they got nothing, where no one's going to believe that you got nothing because everyone that went before you got something. So there's
But
no way you got nothing.
They do get something. They get lots of information, which
Yeah.
no,
I'm
no,
talking
no. They
about
get
the tangible.
information in that. I love that Carolyn is like, Josh got an idol. He played it, you know, and they're like, oh, Jamie, Carson, they have idols too. And so I love that is just completely outed there.
Right.
Really, really love that exchange of information. But they get to sit down and have this little feast. And immediately Danny is like, this is a direct quote. He says, those two, Carson and Jamie, having an idol, this is a disadvantage unless we get to the merge and work together. Only to Brandon.
Looking right across at him. And then Brandon's like, bro,
I've
I've been waiting to work with you too, man. I've been waiting to work with you too. And then Carolyn's like, hello. And then Brandon's like, I hope you make it through tonight.
Oh, yeah, Kylie, you're in this alliance too, but it's just me and Kevin. I need you in this game.
Right, I'm so happy to see you.
I'm so happy you're here. I've just been working to vibe with you, bro, for like the entire season. And like, they're going to come for big physical dudes like us. So we really just got to get all these women out of here.
It's so
don't
rare,
worry, Kylie, that's not you. That's not you.
It's so rare that some of us win this game. Listen, Ryan, me, you, Sheldon, right? Me, you, Sheldon. If we could link back together, we're going to be great. We're going to be great.
Kylie, I hope you make it three.
Kylie, I hope you make it through the night. You know what I'm saying? I hope you make it thugh the night. But me, you, and Sheldon, locked in.
And it's even the placating that Danny does here, where he's like, he multiple occasions like taps Carolyn on the shoulder, like, yeah, of course you're okay. You're gonna be fine. You're part of this.
That's not even the worst part. The worst part is when Brandon goes, well, listen, Kylie, to be honest with you, you're a great person to take to the end. You're not very good at challenges. Like, that is
y'all. What is wrong with this man? What is wrong with this man? Okay. I'm sorry. Outside of a very small handful of people, when you cast athletes of like professional athlete caliber, this is what you get. You get somebody that should just be on the challenge. And this is probably a stepping stone where he hopes to be, Danny Jr. And that's where this gets him.
Well, he talked to Danny a lot.
I'm like, dude, the challenges don't effing matter. They don't matter.
Kelly, do you want to know the best part about how his athletic career helped him do this? Do you know what position he played?
He was on the practice squad. It doesn't even matter.
Bench.
Here's the thing, though, right? I don't necessarily disagree with the read, right? And this is the read, is that Carolyn's a loose cannon. No one's going to follow her. So we don't really need to pay her any mind while we're trying to take this small amount of time to strategize for what we're doing. Now, mind you, it's a wrong read, right? It's a wrong read, but I understand the read from their limited interactions with her in the challenges. She's not good in the challenges. She's not really leading them in the challenges. Danny's leading them through the challenges. Brandon's leading them through the challenges. Danny has intimate knowledge of working with Josh. Brandon doesn't know what's going on with Matt, but he would have probably offered up Matt as someone they could work with. Based on this limited amount of time that they have together, I can see them trying to solidify something and not expecting, especially with them thinking Yam Yam is leading the tribe as they thought before. They thought surely Jam Jam and um and Josh will link up. Jam Jam probably has the idol because remember, Brandon and Danny are both the ones that found the idol. Little do they know, Carolyn also found the idol and she's there with them. But
Yeah, I didn't even think
I'm
about that. All 3 of the birdcage openers were there together.
Oh
yes,
wow, that's
yeah.
crazy.
Mhm.
And so I'm sure they have discounted Carolyn as someone being capable of having opened the
Sure,
cage.
but I mean, once again, okay, so now we're gonna bounce back to 30 minutes ago when I said that I think this is the moment where Danny has Brandon to
Okay,
me has
now we're here.
never Danny has I mean, Brandon has never to me been a true contender. Danny had impressed me so much, literally until this conversation. And it was so bad. So
It was a
bad.
misread. And here's the thing.
No,
This is
not
what I
just a
wonder.
misread because great. Like you see Brandon and you want to work with him. That's great. Make all of these plans. Hey, when we get to merge, the people that I'm working with, like we're, us 3 and the people that we're working with, we link up. All you have to do is include Carolyn in this, and you have set yourself up beautifully for the merge. But
But okay, so
by discounting Carolyn, and it's especially and they don't know Carolyn, and so
no.
that's also why this is very detrimental to them. But this is something that has been a reoccurring theme throughout her whole life, and then also here on Survivor. Like, they don't know that a night ago she helps pull off this blind side against Sarah because Jam Jam basically just did the same shit to her that they're doing now. And she is literally like, fuck these men.
Yeah, no, you're right
Them.
about that. You're right about that 100%. But I don't know that this is going to because like okay, so Carolyn now has this information, right? The bros are going to be broy and they're going to bro down.
And they are ready to include Josh, but they are not ready that, and Danny on multiple occasions says Josh's name, but he's excluding Carolyn. So why
Yeah,
does
yeah, of course,
Carolyn
yeah.
not do exactly what she plans to do?
But who she has to get people to vote with her.
I think she can. That's to be determined, obviously, but I mean, I feel like you already come in with Soka as looked at as the strong tribe
Yeah.
because they only lost 1 challenge, and they're already going to have a target, and you drop the information of like, "Hey, when we went on that little trek, Danny and Brandon like this, 2 peas in a pod," and you are able to gather up the outsiders, then this is
But
this is the
even
downfall.
That's
okay,
also
Ryan, what
assuming
do you
though that
think?
the outsiders outnumber, I guess, the
People on
bros
the
and
inside.
their core.
People on the
I think they
inside.
do.
Like
I
like
think they do. This
Carolyn,
is
she's only on
this
a
is the
tribe with
season
Jam
of
Jam
oddballs,
or
y'all.
Josh or one other person is going to be there if Carolyn even makes it. So it's not like Carolyn is bringing like a whole set of assets to her with her, whereas everyone else has multiple people that they can work with. Like
Right.
Danny has Heidi. Danny has relationships with Josh. Danny has relationships with Franny and
Matt.
Matt. And
Okay,
Brandon has relationships on
I'm not
Ratu.
necessarily saying that this is the merge boot. I am saying that this is the moment where I think he has really they can go back and play it over this. At this moment, he knew he fucked up. This is the moment.
I agree, but I don't think it's a big enough moment to jeopardize his game.
We'll
I think
see.
they'll get to the merge.
We'll
I think some
see.
other drama will happen and they'll figure something
Mm-hmm.
else out.
We'll see.
I think in one
Mhm.
vote, anything that happened in this conversation isn't going to matter anymore.
We'll
Correct.
see.
Correct. I mean, Carolyn couldn't even really get Jam Jam on board just by explaining what happened in the conversation. It was what we have next, where once again, for the 3rd time, Josh talks about his not his idol that he has.
So yeah,
And he
let's get into this because this is the chef's kiss of the episode. Carolyn gets back to Tika. We get this confessional as she's hopping off the boat where she's like, I am so happy to see Jam Jam. I took him for granted. I want to jump into his arms because Josh is in with these bros and I do not want to be any part of this. Get me away from it. So sorry, Father, I have sinned. Like Carolyn is at confessional. And she's, tells him like, oh no, we just had to sit and eat. That's what we did. And Josh is like, oh, really? And like turns his back, going through his bag, and she's like,
She's mouthing that we're okay, Jam, me and you were okay. We're good to go. We're gonna get out Josh. We're gonna get out Josh. And then even Jam Jam's like, I don't know about that because I might still be working with him to get you out. We'll see.
yeah.
I mean, they don't even believe that she found the idol, man. I don't really know that she's gonna have this cachet to like lead a counter alliance, but they don't. Jam does not believe Carolyn has anything, and then Carolyn brilliantly says, because Josh says, I'm just going to use my idol to keep myself safe.
Carolyn says, Danny is ready to get back with you at the merge if you make it. And he says, well, I am going to make it because I have an idol.
Yeah. And then Jam says, yeah, he has an idol. And Carolyn says, have you seen it? Which I loved because no, he hasn't. And he's like, I saw the note. And she's like, okay. And then he goes and gets it, which I thought was bold of Josh, but it's worth the shot. He goes and grabs the note and he grabs the letter, and then he gives it to Carolyn, and Carolyn's like, I already read this one.
Yeah.
And Jam Jam even calls back, wait, aren't these the exact same beats from Tree Mail? And he's like, no,
idol
it's not.
to Jam Jam. And Jam Jam's like, Josh, aren't these the beads from Tree Mail? And he's like, do you think I'm an idiot that I would just use the beads from Tree Mail? Jam Jam's like, these are the beads from Tree Mail, Josh. And I mean, walks him. And at the same time, Carolyn is on the other side reading the note. And she's like, you idiot. You just showed me this note yesterday. Did you not think that I read it yesterday? This is the same note.
I don't know what's going on in Josh's head right over here.
Jam Jam's looking at it. And
I'll tell you exactly what's in Josh's head.
This is falling apart. And Josh is like, don't break my bracelet. And Jam Jam's like, it just came apart. Like, you're not even good at tying stitches up, Mr. Surgeon.
This is you said you don't know what's going through Josh's head. I'll tell you exactly what's going through Josh's head. He got caught. That was it. He got caught. He got stuck. He was trying to bluff an idol.
And Carolyn, he's not a good liar.
Well, not even that part. You're right, but that's not even that. It's the fact that Carolyn is like, bro, you showed me the idol last time. Like, are you gonna show us this? Like, based on your previous behavior, this is how you proved it.
Right. And once again, why are you trying to lie to Carolyn? Even if you want to vote Carolyn off, you have to make Carolyn feel like it is you and her against Jam Jam, no matter what. And then with Jam Jam, make him feel like it's you and him against Carolyn. But why are you not like, Carolyn, I don't have an idol? Like, you gotta kind of go all in there.
The part I disagree with is the fact that Carolyn calls him out about the bro thing, and he just panicked. I think you're right. Like, you're 100% right, Kylie. And I don't say that often, but you're 100% right that he has to try to tell one that he's going after the other and so on and so forth. Like, I'm with you on that. That's exactly the position he should try to be in. But when she comes back and says, these two guys said they wanted to bro down with you, he thought that he was safe enough to re-bluff the idol in front of Jam Jam. Did not expect Carolyn to say, well, did he show it to you? Because now you got to show it. Now you have to show it. Once she's like, did he show you the idol?
And I think the interesting thing about this is, in like any other situation, we're going to have 3 people on a tribe. They're not going to be this publicly open about any information. Like, oh, I just had this conversation with Danny and Brandon. Oh, I have an idol. And the person who really starts off that everything in front of everyone is Carolyn when she comes back and rants about her whole experience.
Correct. And once again, it's Carolyn's brutal honesty where she's able to do something very tactless in a somehow like a dignified manner. Yeah. Where she's like, they want to bro down with you, Josh. And instead of Josh immediately being like, oh, F me, like, I need to double down with Jam Jam. And
that's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did.
No, but I'm saying he doesn't even have Carolyn is suave enough to do this in a group setting and just completely nails Josh ass. And it's not intentional. It's not intentional. Okay. It's just like
she's just venting.
She's just venting.
She just does it and it works out.
And I credit to her. I really love when she says,
Mhm.
Did he show you the idol?
Yeah.
No. Well, now Josh has to right now in front of everyone because he's already talked about it publicly. It's
Yeah.
no longer a
And
secret.
it's the fact that Jam Jam's even like, no, he didn't. I mean,
Yes, yeah,
it's almost like a coordinated thing that they didn't plan at all.
you're right.
Just
You're right.
marvelous.
Because by him going, no, he didn't show me the idol. Josh is like, fuck me, man. Like this is like what do you? I mean, I can show it to you if you want, but I don't think I need to. Oh, so you don't
I'd
need
be
to
like,
show me
you'll
the
see it soon enough tonight whenever I play it.
that's that, and I would be like, that's what we're going with. Like she made a good point. I haven't seen it. Do you have it? And then you're like, yup. Oh, are you going to show us?
No.
Oh, okay, but you've already talked about it a bunch. So
Yeah. I mean, you can't show it. You can't show it.
That's what's so hard because you have to.
No.
You're stuck. He was so Carolyn, like you said, dead to rights by just saying. And mind you, when she says it, she's like doing something with her hands, like she's like cleaning something, looking at something. Did you see it, Jam Jam? No.
It's marvelous. It's great.
And then when he shows it, immediately Jam Jam's like, "This is the fakest idol I've ever seen in person."
Yeah, and then the confessional where he is just dying laughing. And I mean, he's not like on the beach somewhere. It looks like they literally like stopped him on the trail walking to get water, and he is just cackling. I mean, the whole sequence. Watching it back again today, just as enjoyable as watching it last night.
Props to Josh though, knowing that immediately that he was found out. You know what I'm saying? Props to him knowing he's immediately found out and knowing that he no longer was the power player.
Yeah. And so we get Josh's backstory, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
That means he's going home.
Yep, because we've been waiting for this.
That's exactly what I tweeted.
Yeah, we knew that Josh was not leaving until we got his backstory because he has an incredible story. Born with this condition, ends up having to have a kidney transplant. He's on immunosuppressants, ends up with cancer, has to have his whole stomach removed, and this man still graduates to be a doctor. And sorry, Sarah, but you didn't calculate cancer into his fucking timeline, did you, girl? Maybe that's the tidbit Josh should have dropped in there of, hey, this is why I'm just now a personal trainer at 31. I had cancer. No, obviously, if he's hiding the story about being a doctor, he's probably hiding being a cancer survivor too, I just imagine. But we do get this background story, really inspirational, like such an incredible person in real life, just maybe not so great on Survivor.
Yeah.
Probably.
The moment I saw this backstory happening, I was convinced he was going on.
Yeah, I was too, until I paused and realized what time it was. But from his backstory, we do get the Carolyn and Jam Jam conversation where she is like framing his face, like, Jam Jam, you listen to me. We are working together. I'm sorry I lied to you. I will never do it again. And this is where I feel that Jam Jam is a better player than Carolyn, because Jam Jam realizes the shift and that he is now back in control. And he's like, just how I wanted it. I am the one that gets to decide what direction I go. Do I go with Josh and take out Carolyn, or do I go with Carolyn? So glad to have you back, my girl. Or which one? Which way do I go? And Jam Jam's like, yes, back in the power position. And
My favorite part about
somehow,
that is he did absolutely nothing to get there.
right, somehow in a 24-hour period, he has gone from the bottom back to the top. Great job, Jam Jam. But we get the three of them propped up on the log. I mean, they do look extremely relaxed, fixing to head into tribal council. And on the horizon, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Jeff on a boat.
Whenever Jeff shows up at your beach, it's usually not a good sign for somebody. In this case, it was not a good sign for Matt.
Yeah. And so, Jeff is like, hey, y'all look pretty calm. Like, how's it going? And Josh is like, well, I have an idol, so I'm okay. But also I'm extremely terrified at this moment because I am worried that I am fixing to get voted off. And that whole facade that he has been putting on, gone. And
did you say facade?
Yeah, it's a facade. How do you
So
say
the
it?
word facade?
Facade. Words are hard
Take me a
too.
second.
Words are hard
Yeah,
too.
the facade fades away.
Yes, the facade.
Dude,
and
did you see Jam Jam's face the moment Jeff lands on the beach?
Another jaw dropper from Jam Jam.
The whole time. Just mouth just hung slack jawed.
And but Josh tells him straight up, like, yeah, I thought I was about to get voted out. My heart is pounding 1,000,000 miles an hour. And Jam Jam's like, Matthew had to leave the game. And Jeff is like, yes, his bad luck is y'all's good fortune. And Josh is like, yes. I mean, I'm so upset.
So sorry,
I'm so sorry.
So sorry, Matt. But yes.
And I mean, yes, I would. If I were Josh, I would have reacted the exact same way. But I mean, it's just like the cherry on top of this whole episode.
So we think that's how Jam Jam was going on that. We think that Jam Jam was winning.
Yeah. I think Josh was a goner.
I agree.
And then to top it off, we get Carolyn that's like, I'm annoyed because I wanted to go to tribal council and I wanted to vote Josh off here. So like this is annoying because I don't want him to stay in the game. I just burned Jam Jam, my #1 Alliance member, and saved this man's ass yesterday. But today he's got to go. And they're all hugging, and Josh is like, Carolyn, this is a good thing. We don't have to go to tribal council. Why do you look like you're sad? And she's like, because I wanted to vote you out. And it's the honesty. Once again, just great way to end this crazy, unexpected episode. Ryan, what are your thoughts as a whole? How do you rank this episode?
This episode was fantastic, of an already fantastic season with a lot of different blindsides and twists and so many different fun personalities. This has to be like a 10 out of 10. It's an amazing episode.
Extremely entertaining. Kevin, what are your thoughts as a whole on this episode?
I thought the episode was great. I love the fact that even though we knew there was no time left to go to tribal, we were still able to have a good time and watch the dissolving of a 3-person tribe, which is exactly what you wanted to see. We still watched it, and then at the end, no one goes home from that group. It's just everything was just out in the open.
Yeah, it's almost spicier that way. Like,
everything
when you get
the
vote out that it's done, this is like you get all the drama and all the heat and all the intention, and then they just have to sit on it and let it simmer.
Loved it.
Yep, it was great. So now, before we move into what is coming next week, what do you say the odds are? Do we see Matthew get a second chance to play the game of Survivor? We already know Bruce is coming back. He didn't even get a chance. His was Survivor related.
Well, he's
coming back. Does Matthew get a second chance too?
I think so.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
thought that Josh, I listened to Jeff's podcast, at least half of it. He didn't, I thought he would immediately insta say he was coming back, but he didn't. I thought I was surprised.
He doesn't talk about it at all.
So I think the difference there is we got to see how Matt played. So people for future seasons will plan, Matt played this way. If he's in this All-Star season, then we'll see him and we'll do that and plan around that. Whereas Bruce, complete clean slate, know nothing about him. We don't know what's going on over there.
except he maybe doesn't have good depth perception.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I think that we see Matthew play again. I was really excited to watch him. He was possibly my winner pick preseason. Is that who I said? I felt like he was positioned well. I loved just the things that he was doing. So disappointed for him, but maybe we'll see you again next time. All right. Now then, next week, Mergatory. Da-dum-dum. We are at 12 people? Carolyn,
I think
Josh,
so.
Jam,
Well,
Jamie, Brandon, Danny, Franny, Carson, Kane, Lauren, Matt, and Heidi. Yeah, 12. So we're going to have half safe, half not safe. Who do you think will be the Mergatory boot and just falling short of the jury phase?
You think it's just going to be like one person or two? Because Dwight was short last time, and I thought one more person was short too.
no, it was Dwight, and then Janine was voted right after she was first jury.
Okay, yeah. So just Dwight.
So who do we think it'll be?
That's so hard. I think they're going to come together. Carolyn has her idol. I think there's a good chance this is Jam Jam.
I just really want to see Carolyn and Jamie meet up, and I just want to see that interaction go down. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I think that would be an interesting combo. I'm not sure if they'd work together, but I just want to see them interact.
I feel like that. I feel like this could be where we could. I mean, this is all speculation because you don't know how the 6 people are going to get divided up and which 6 are going to be safe and which 6 aren't. I think this is where maybe we could have a little Matt or Franny on the line.
I can see that.
Like they're an obvious duo. If one of them is vulnerable, maybe the shot's taken. Takes a shot at Soka, takes a shot at a little romance, like 2 for 1. Let's get him out of here. And especially with Matt not having a vote, like maybe it comes back to hurt them a little bit. I don't know.
One thing I have here is that Kylie, of the people that are here at Merge, Kylie had 10 of them right. 3 of them, she had 3 people also going to Merge, and that was wrong. She had 13 initially, all making the Merge. So I mean, she missed the mark.
Which one? So I mean, Matthew was not going to be voted out. So I feel like he should count.
Nope, he doesn't. He's still gone. You also had Bruce also gone. And you also said that Maddie no, you said that Claire would make the Merge. So those are the 3 that you missed.
Okay. So I was only wrong about 1 because the 2 that were injured don't count. So
they definitely still count.
Claire the Rob the Queen.
I only had 2 wrong. I had Helen and Claire not making the Merge, but I only had 8 people. I only had 10 people making Merge anyway. You had 13. I had 10. Robbie had 10 people that he had picked to make Merge. He was 7 and 3. He missed on Helen, Claire. We all missed on Claire, by the way. Helen, Claire, and Matt. And then Karen was 9 and 4. Karen had 13 people making the Merge, and she missed on 4. And Helen, Bruce, Claire, and Matt as well. So pretty good numbers, guys. Pretty on taking shots in the dark.
Yeah,
we did okay. We didn't miss too many.
Complete cast assessment, not too shabby here. Good job, guys. Excited to see what happens. We are right here at Mergatory. Who will win Survivor 44? Ryan, guess.
Oh, tough one. I think my winner pick now is Jamie. Hot take on that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. All right, Kevin.
My winner pick is Danny.
That's a good one.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
My winner pick in my heart is Jam Jam. Who I think is going to win the game at this point is Carson.
Carson's a good one. Carson's a good one. That's a
So
good choice.
that is who I think is positioned well to win, but I still just wanted to be Jam Jam or Carolyn, but Jam Jam the most. All right, but I think we are set up for an exciting back half. Such an interesting group of people. Like, really, really love the cast. Hopefully Survivor doesn't get in their way. So,
Yeah.
Ryan, do you have anything else to add about this episode or season as a whole?
I just think Josh is screwed from this point on. Like,
Yeah.
you had his previous tribe plan to vote him out, and he got saved there. He
Yeah.
got saved by Josh, even by Jeff coming in. I think even if Josh plays like a perfect second half of the game, I think he's screwed. I
You
think
asked
Hopefully
who's going
Josh
to go
doesn't have a
home.
cat because he's definitely using up their lives.
I think he's a good chance to go home at the Mergatory.
I agree
Yeah.
with that too.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, Ryan, anything to plug?
Watch Big Brother Maryland. It's on YouTube. You search Big Brother and then you search Maryland and it'll show up.
Awesome. All right, Kevin, what you got going on?
Join me tomorrow as me, along with Sheldon and Kylie, are going to discuss Big Brother Canada 11. It's been a very spicy week in the house, as Ryan likes to say, and it's been wild, like legitimately wild. Check it out. We're gonna go through the whole week, and with Queen Kuzi's reign, long may she reign. We're gonna go through the whole thing.
The whole
It's
shebang.
insane. So join us for that, and then join us back here next week, next Thursday, as we break down the latest episode of Survivor.
All right, and we will see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.
Bye.